Hi, we'll do some more bad date stories because I have a lot of those. Okay, so there's this dating site called Badoo that no one's heard of, and I don't really know how I found it, but I did, and I've met a few guys from there. And one guy, his name was something like the third or the second or something. And he was like, "Yeah, I know it sounds really pretentious." And I was like, "Then go by Junior." And he was like, "I'm not a junior." And I was like, what the hell do you want from me? I don't care. Go by second. Go by junior. Leave it off entirely. Whatever. And then he got really mad at me and got up and he was like, "That's it. I'm gone." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "You're making fun of my name. Enjoy your dinner." Okay, first of all, we met at Crown Burger, so it's not that exciting anyway, taking a girl to Crown Burger. And then he was like 20 minutes late because he was 2 blocks away, right? But he had to drive home to get different shoes. It's a freaking burger restaurant. Wear whatever the hell shoes you want. But he was insistent that he had to drive home to get different shoes. But the traffic was really bad. So he was stuck in traffic for 20 minutes on 2 blocks. So I'm sitting there because I try to be a punctual person. So I'm sitting there waiting for him for 20 minutes and he finally gets there and he goes by his last name. So I ask what his first name, ask what his last name is, and he tells me, and then he tells me what his first name is, and that he's the second, and that's when this conversation comes up. And he just gets pissed and walks out. And I'm like, my first thought is, you can't walk out on me. I'm freaking amazing. And my second thought is, you can do that. You can walk out of a date. I guess I needed permission to walk out because I've had a lot of crappy dates, like a lot, a lot, a lot. Like there was this one guy who really tried to get me to go to his house. I mean, a lot of them do, but this guy was really trying harder than most. And he was like, "Can we meet at my work?" And I was like, "No, we need to meet into neutral territory." So we meet at a bowling alley. And then he's like, "Okay, I'm going to go clock out and take you to work, to take you to dinner." And I was like, "Clock out? I told you we're not meeting at work." And then he's like, "Oh, well, I have 2 jobs." "I told you we're not meeting at your work." So already he's struck out. And then he's like, "So my car or yours?" And I'm like, "I'll follow you. I don't know you." And then he's pissed. And then he drives some weird roundabout way, stops in front of a house. And he's like, "Okay, leave your car here and jump in mine." I'm like, "I don't know you. I'm not going to your house right now. If this were like a second or third date, sure, but I don't know you." We get to dinner, and after dinner, he's like, "Hey, let's go." I'm like, "Where are we going?" He's like, "My house." I'm like, "I still don't know you." And he's like, "Well, what would keep you from leaving?" And I'm like, "Manners, okay?" So I stayed and listened to him lecture me for half an hour in the parking lot about how I was beautiful but paranoid. I'm not paranoid, I'm just a dumbass. Like, plus he was Tongan and huge, and he could have hurt me. And I told him that, and he's like, "Well, now you're making me feel like a shit." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know that you're not, because I don't know you." Men don't seem to realize that women really are at a physical disadvantage. Even large athletic women, like I was before I was in a wheelchair, we are still at a physical disadvantage. So going to a stranger's house is a dumb idea. Wait until you know him. Letting a stranger come to your house is a dumb idea. Wait until you know him. Meet him in public. Every time I go out on an online date, people are like, "Be careful." And I'm like, I'm not a dumbass. That's why we're meeting in public. Like, don't tell me to be careful, okay? I know what the hell I'm doing. Anyway, stupid online dates.